everyone again. I'm so happy to meet you again here at my cooking school. We have some troubles because the weather is so bad tonight, so rainy, windy, and so it's a bit difficult to be connected with you, but I'm sure that we'll go again and we try to do this fantastic and gorgeous class live on stream through Facebook that is about Sicilian cannoli that I'm sure you like so much, and I missed you so much. So please join me to our Facebook page, Cooking Classes in Tuscany, Cuoche in Vacanza, and let's start with this class that is not so simple. As you can see, so many ingredients, and this is not so usual in Italian cooking, because in Italian cooking we have not so many ingredients when we are going to cook something and to prepare, but nowadays we have so many. So we have flours, cocoa, but you have everything. I wrote everything in a list. So once that this live on stream class is registered, you can be sure that I jump here again to answer all your questions, and you have a list of ingredients, of tools, of amounts, so no problem, because you can do it again. But I can assure you that if you make this, they'll be gorgeous for you, your family, loved ones and friends. So let's start.
Rachel ti saluta e ti dice che è molto bello vederti di nuovo.
Oh, grazie Rachel! I'm so happy you're connected with me, my friend. Thank you very much, dear.
E Gloria Gaddini dice che è molto grata di vederti e sentirti di nuovo.
Grande Gloria, I'm moved to hear from you, and many greetings to Maria, mi raccomando. Grazie Gloria.
E Judy McBride dice che è molto felice di vederti di nuovo e ti saluta dal Maryland.
Judy, ciao. You are my best friends, girls, and so we can start with no problem. I'm sure that will be a great class, because I'm so happy to be with you, dears. So I beg your pardon, because as I told you there are many ingredients, but please you can try to follow me step by step, because it will be a great one. So first, when you are going to make cannoli, you are going to make something that you have to start with the dough, as everything in Italy, as usual, you say. And so we start with the powders. Always start with the powders. So we use our flour. You have a list of ingredients I told you. In this case, I use 2 glasses like this, that is 200 grams, and is 1 cup and a half. But don't listen to my amounts, because you know you have all the list and ingredients. So we add to the flour the cocoa, that in this case are about 2 tablespoons of this. Then we go with the third powder, that is the sugar. So granulated sugar.
Rachel D'Anzelio Iannacci ti dice buongiorno da New York e amo la tua cucina.
Grande Rachel, ciao, grazie mille for following me. I'm so happy to hear from you. And I'm happy that we are all together. So these are the 3 powders. We try to mix so coarsely, together in this way. Just mix in this way. Then we make a well, like we are making pasta. Do you remember homemade pasta? And we start adding 1 egg. So we start with the most liquid part. The first is 1 egg that I suggest to beat before, just a bit, beating a bit. We go with this in the well. Now you have to know that we'll start working this, and so we can immediately add the butter in small pieces.
Kelly ti dice che è grata che tu sia tornata.
Oh, Kelly. I'm grateful to you all, my friends. And so we can start working this. You see in the center, we go very slowly and we go taking the flour from the external part to the inside in this way. But now you know we have 2 glasses. Usually we use 1 glass for of flour for 1 egg. So we are sure that now we need more liquid. That's why we call for our Marsala wine that I bought a dry one. Marsala because cannoli are from Sicily and Marsala wine is the typical one from Sicily. You know that cannoli, the word comes from canna, that is a piece of plant that the Sicilian used to cook and to fry the cannoli. It's like a form, it's like a mold. So we can go adding our Marsala few at a time, like this. So like a small glass, and then we go with the tip of our fingers, just the tip. And always we put something in the center. I suggest you, as you know, to start always with a bowl like this, so you will avoid to make a mess in your kitchen, you know. Even if you have a big pastry board, it's always better to start with a bowl.
Judy Stockton ti saluta e ti dice che è a casa di Rachel e ti stanno guardando insieme.
Oh, Judy, this class is for you, eh? You asked me for cannoli, remember? And that's why I decided to make this, because many people asked me to make this class, and I know cannoli are gorgeous. Okay. So at this point, we can go directly on our surface. And we start adding some of our Marsala inside our doughs. And we start working with our palm. Remember, the second step of making doughs is working with our palm. And you go ahead with our flour and doughs. Ahead.
Judy dice che è molto emozionata che tu stia facendo i cannoli e ti ringrazia.
Oh, grazie Judy. I'm so happy that you are glad for this, and I'm sure it will be a great cooking, but also a great way to taste this very old, I'd say ancient plate, because cannoli, you think that the origin is not Italian, instead is from Turkish, and they come from the east when they invaded the Italian south lands, and so the Turkey brought their experience to the way of cooking of Sicilian people. So, as you can see, now you have something very, very smooth. If you see that is too much smooth, like in this case, because you know we can't wait many times to rest, but if you made that at home, you can rest for 1 hour.
Diana Proctor Souffley, credo,
Sì?
ti dice che lo fai sembrare molto semplice.
No, but this is simple, don't worry. You just, if you see this, you understand the texture. So this is the texture of the cannoli doughs. We can leave this here now with no problem. Sorry, I wash my hands. Meantime, you can see the ingredients again.
Rachel Stockton dice che ama che tu racconti la storia di questi piatti.
Oh, grazie. I love the origin of the dishes, because it's my job, no? To share the story with you. So, now that we are leaving to rest our doughs, we go with a filling that is the most delicious things in the world, I think, in my opinion. And so we start with ricotta cheese. As you can see, the ricotta cheese is in a colander, so the liquid is away. Huh? So we put the ricotta cheese in a bowl. And tell you the truth, you have to sieve the ricotta when you're making the cannoli filling. But in this case we have no time, so we take a whip and you can be sure that it's very gorgeous in the same way. So we go with this and we just start breaking the fiber of the ricotta cheese that I suggest from sheep, but from cow is good as well. To this point, we have to the ricotta cheese some sugar. In this case, this sugar will help the ricotta cheese to enhance all the flavor, all the liquid inside, all the milk that it has inside, because the sugar is like the salt is hygroscopic and so take off all the jewels. Huh? So this is the first step. Now we have to use just a bit more force, huh? Just a bit more stronger. And now we can add, or you can add some rum, or you can add some Marsala wine like this, or you can add also some limoncello, every kind of liqueur that you like more. The original for the cannoli obviously called for Marsala, but I know many people that put inside rum, and if you have not this, you can use rum and Marsala in any way. So I have my my Marsala that is a very, very big amount. Huh? So a small glass. Look at here. And now it will be easier to mix. Everything is very creamy now. So now that it's creamy, we add the chocolate drops. That is one touch, fantastic touch to the cannoli filling. Remember, the sugar is a lot because ricotta cheese calls for a lot of sugar in the cannoli. You have to taste, and if you think that is enough sugar, okay? Otherwise you add more. At this point, we take cinnamon and we go with some cinnamon powder. And we go again. Even the cinnamon comes from Turkish land, huh? from the east, the orient. And now you can decide if you want to add some citron, some orange candied zest inside, or you can live in this way. I suggest you to add because we are following the original recipe. So just a bit, but I want to add. And we go again. Okay, we can taste. Perfecto. Really, really sweet. And so this is perfect. And you go with this immediately in the fridge. I put this in the freezer because we have no time, so I'm sure that it's more firm. It's firmer.
Diana Proctor ti chiede se hai usato se hai fatto tu i canditi o puoi usare insomma quelli che compri.
You can use the candies that you buy, but usually I make candies. I make them on December with orange zest. I make usually only candies fruit with orange zest, because we have a very good kind of oranges. And I make candies and I make arancello and limoncello in December. But now we finished everything and so I bought. Okay, guys. So we have our doughs and our flour. You see that it's very, very soft. Huh? We cut this. We use our rolling pin. And we go with our pasta machine. First time, I take off this. First time we use this to the number O, so the lower level, that is the biggest hole that we can find. And if we see that is too fresh, we have to add more flour, because now this is the most difficult step in making cannoli. So it's probably you have for sure it will be easier for you, because you put to rest for more time your dough. In my case, that I have no time, is more difficult, and so we'll add much flour again, to have a texture just a bit harder. We use our rolling pin down, and when we come back, we don't press. Okay. Così. This is just to show you, it's just an example. Rolling pin again. La. And this is the number that I told you is the bigger. So now we try with this. We double and we do it again. This is a procedure a bit long, because they have to take the texture, but when you are at home as well, you have to make in this way. So double and good. Don't worry, the machine doesn't take the finger as many people think. It's not dangerous. It's not the truth. Okay. At this point, we add again some flour. Again. This is the procedure for cannoli. We double again. Always to the lower number. Double again. Ecco fatto. Ok. At this point, we take this in this way and we go in vertical, but to the number 1. So the next number. So in this way, and this time we go to the with the short part. Fold and go with the short part. Ecco fatto.
Gloria Gaddini ti dice che non ha mai pensato di usare la macchina per la pasta e ha sempre fatto tutto senza a mano, via.
Cannoli is always better to use the machine because you need something very thin. It's true that the dough is very fresh and soft, but it's not so easy to have a soft one. So it's always better to use something that make it very, very thin. And it's not so easy with a rolling pin. At this point we fold again, we go with a short side and we go to the number 2. Whoops. Always remember, always flour on the surface. This in general when you are going to make something like a dough. Surface with flour. Okay. Fold again. And let's go. So it's not a so short work, but I think you'll be so satisfied. So we can try with this, and we can go to fold it again and go to the number 3 this time. Fold again, and let's go. Now it's a bit difficult, so maybe we have to fold again. So fold again, and another time to the third. But this is not a law. It depends from your machine, it depends from your dough. You just have to obtain something that is thin, a bit more than a paper. So we make the same thing with this. Okay, we are almost ready, guys? The machine is very tired. It's very fresh inside, so in this case, when you see that it's very fresh, you use going in the machine 2 times. Okay? This is the last, and as you can see, the last is very, very fresh. So this is the younger. Okay. At this point, we're going to take, if I found it, my...
Diana chiede se con ogni volta che lo pieghi e lo ripressi lo stai facendo più piccolo, cioè più sottile.
Not every time, not every time. I make it thinner and thinner from the start to the hand. So 2 times in the same is usually the work that you have to do. At least 2 times, but when you are at home maybe you need to do more. So these are not perfect because we have no time. This is a class. I want just to show you. But when you are at home, you can be calm and you can make it more times. And it's much better because the dough has the time to rest and has the time to take all what it can need.
Rachel Stockton invece ti chiede, quindi lo metti lì per 2 volte per ognuno?
Yes, you can do it this way. In this way is the best way that you can make. But you can also see if it's necessary to do it for many times, for more times. When you touch, it has not to be sticky. So if it's sticky, you add flour. But I think that if you let to rest the dough, it's okay 2 times or 2 times 1, 2, 3. Okay? I think this is perfect. So not so thin, but the number 3, so the third number that you can find in your pasta machine in general. Now I put some bread in my pan, and I have on the pan some corn oil. I put the bread of taralli just because I want to hot, and when we see some bubbles there, we are sure that the oil will be hot, and maybe we have to turn off. Okay, so now we have this shape of our cannoli, and we have also these tubes. What we need to do now is to take this, to use some oil, corn oil as I told you, and we can grease all our molds. Please remember this, that is a very good trick. Not everyone make this, but this is a very help when you are making cannoli, because they add so much that so they don't stick. As you know, this is a thing that we need absolutely. At this point, we try to make some squares, 10 centimeters, that is 4 inches, about, obviously. We can take off this. We can take this. Here we go to put some water, but I don't know if we need this. And we go to take this around to our cannoli mold in this way, so in diagonal, okay? This, and we try to press like it has to be sticky. Don't worry, because in general it sticks, but sometimes it can be in another shape. One, we go with another, diagonal, in this way, and press. When you arrive here, you press with the tip of your fingers. Again, hopefully we have our oil. We go again. 1, 2, and we press. Put this here so you can see in the best way. Sometimes some people prefer to make it with a round mold. So you take a cutter, a cookie cutter, and you can make also in a round shape. The tradition anyway call for a square, but you can make as you prefer. So you take this other. I repeat, I just show you an example, so I'm just happy to show you this, and I hope they come good, even if we didn't rest them. You can see here we have bubbles, so we take off because we know that our grease is ready. We go with this. Maximum 2 at a time. You see there are the bubbles. Okay. This oil is very good for frying, but the best that I suggest you is the peanut oil. In Italy is the peanut oil that has the most high burning times. But since when I do my cooking class, many people are allergic to peanuts, and so that's why I often use corn oil. So we are sure that nobody is allergic, usually. Okay. We can put other cheese. Careful because they are very, very hot, huh? They're frying, you know. Okay. Try to make another. Ecco fatto. Okay, just return. At home, you'll have more time to rest, and you'll have some bubbles in the dough. That's impossible now that we have not rested the dough, okay? So at this point, just to show you, we take this. We have to be very careful now because they are very hot. So this is like a chirurgic operation. You have to feel they are okay, eh? Don't force. the cannoli. Eh? And now they are hot, so now we are making our ricotta cheese inside. You understand that is not so a good thing because the ricotta cheese is cold, but they are always still too hot. But as I tell you many times, otherwise we can't make any kind of class, and so that's why I'm happy to show you this again, even if they are not so perfect and even if they are not so cold. Okay? So at this point we take our cannoli, and we can decide to use a sac à poche to put all the ricotta cheese in the sac à poche and then fill inside your cannoli. But you can also use a teaspoon like the women in Sicily made many years ago. But my granny, for example, still make this. So many people still prefer to use the teaspoon. Okay.
Wanda Marino Pirillo ti dice: ciao, il mio nome è Wanda da Montreal in Canada e mi sto godendo la tua classe e ti ringrazio.
Grazie mille. It's so important to have a feedback from you, to know if you are connected, because I don't see anything, and so thank you if you tell me something, because I love to keep in touch with you. Thank you very much. And thank you for your feedback. And remember, guys, to come to my Facebook page, Cooking Classes in Tuscany, Cuoche in Vacanza, so we can keep in touch and you can be updated about all the live streaming. So we go with this part of the teaspoon and we make this movement in vertical. If you have a sac à poche, it's completely different. Maybe you can see better now. Eccone uno. We take another. I like to make at least 3 with 3 garniture, because we bought glace cherries, succade. I didn't know the name, succade.
Therese di Carlo Bach ti dice: fantastica classe.
Oh, grazie Therese. I'm so happy you are here. Grazie. I love her and I love her recipes. So thank you. Thank you, guys. I live for this, and so I hope we keep in touch seriously. Remember that you can make even smaller. If you make smaller, you use 5 centimeters, so 2-inch squares. At this point, we go to fill also this. That is the last. Ecco fatto. And now we can do in various way. We can put here some succade, as they told me. I didn't know the meaning of this. And so we decorate this with this, that in Italy we call this candied Macedonia. This is a full cannoli.
Rachel Stockton dice che sembrano molto buoni e non può aspettare di farli questo pomeriggio.
Sì, Rachel.
Stasera.
Here is late afternoon, but you can make it tonight, this afternoon. This is pistachio grain. That is fantastic. You see, this is the Sicily. This is the Sicily shape because they come from Sicily. Huh? So we take this. Here. Then we can use just the glaze, cherries. Here. And we can make the last one with the orange, just orange. Just to like make in Sicily they made just with the orange zest in vertical like this, like it was a stripe. Now we can take our a bit of icing sugar, why not? I don't know if it takes because they are a bit hot, but we can try. Oh, now that looks better, huh? And so, our cannoli are ready. And these are Sicilian cannoli. And I'm sure that you can taste them and they will be so gorgeous and delicious. So guys.
Fiorella Sprea scrive, quello al pistacchio è mio. Cuoca bravissima e fantasiosa.
Ok Fiorella, te lo darò subito. Thanks for coming also from Italy. So girls.
E Teresa Di Carlo ti dice brava. Wanda Marino Pirillo ti dice che sono fantastici. Diana Proctor dice che sono bellissimi e sembrano deliziosi e ti chiede per quanto tempo rimarranno croccanti.
Oh Diane, they still remain crispy, not for a long time because there is the ricotta cheese inside. So if you put in the freezer, that is a freezer without water inside, they still remain crispy even when you defrost them. But I suggest you that once you make them, you heat them. It's so easy to fill them and after you can directly eat. Or you can make smaller and so you can have more quantity because you can freeze the dough as well. So no problem, just add more flour when you go to make a shape.
Carlo ti dice risultato magnifico, bravissima e grazie per la lezione.
Grande Carlo, grazie mille di esserci. Grazie a tutti.
Kelly ti dice che sembra delizioso e non può aspettare di farli e ti ringrazia per averlo condiviso.
Grazie Kelly, grazie a te. Yes, they are delicious. I'm so happy to share this with you. I'm happy to keep in touch. I'd like to do also online classes, maybe in the future with some link. I don't know. I have to think to their platform, but I really like to share recipes with you. So please keep in touch with me. Come on the page Cooking Classes in Tuscany, Cuoche in Vacanza, so we can be updated about all the stream class and all the recipes.
Judy Stockton ti dice che sono bellissimi e sembrano deliziosi.
I'm sure, Judy, that you make a good job tonight if you make them. Remember to rest at least half an hour, better if 1 hour, and to make it thinner that you can. I couldn't make them thinner because they were too much fresh, but if you make thinner, they'll have bubbles and they will be much better of this. So you can be sure. This is an example.
Gloria Gaddini ti dice perfetto e spera che potrà assaggiarli e ti dice che ha un'altra bellissima classe.
Grazie Gloria, I'm sure you can taste this and if you come here you can taste them for sure.
Judy McBride ti dice che sembrano deliziosi e ti ringrazia per un'altra fantastica classe.
Judy, what do you prefer, Judy? Pistachio grain, glace cherry, Macedonia succade, citron, orange zest?
Therese Di Carlo ti chiede se li metti poi nel freezer.
You can put them in the freezer. And after, if it's a defrost freezer, no frost freezer is perfect. You can put them there, and after you can take 10 minutes before eating. No problem. Yes, of course.
Rachel ti ringrazia per la classe e ha detto che è stato bellissima.
Oh, grazie. I was a bit worried about this class because it's long, it's not so simple, and so I was a bit worried. But now I'm satisfied because they are very nice. I'm sure they're delicious. So, girls, hope to meet you again soon. I tell you if it will be possible to make another live stream class. I don't know when, if next Friday or in another week, in 10 days, I tell you on Monday, I think. Grazie a tutti, ciao!